Welcome to Homeschool High School's Algebra 1 class. I'm Dawn Younger. During the 26-27 school year, I'll be teaching 5 different classes. So for math, I'll be teaching middle school math foundations, Algebra 1, geometry, and then for science, I'll be teaching earth science and physics. So let's talk about the Algebra 1 class. This will be a live-only class. We'll meet 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. That leaves your Wednesdays free for co-ops or a field trip or whatever it is that you want to do with that day. We meet from 10 to 10:55 Eastern Time. And then following that, there's an optional homework session where the students will get together and work on homework together. And that is from 11 to 11:25 Eastern Time. Both of those are via Zoom, so let me show you how you would access it. The first thing that you would need to do would be to get on Skool, that's skool.com, and type in Homeschool High School. Or you can just click the link in the description below. Then you would click on Homeschool High School, and that's the Homeschool High School community. You can see on here an intro video, some information about the community, and then you would just join the group. You can go into the classroom, and you can see the class information. You can see the course schedule on there. And then you can go down to the live course and you can see all of the information about the algebra course. So you would scroll down and go to the Algebra 1 class. And here's the information page. That's the exact same information that's in that class information one, just right here in the class so that you can access it more easily. So let's talk through what that looks like. This live class teaches Saxon's Algebra 1 4th edition. So if you're planning on doing this with us, please make sure that you get the 4th edition. The 3rd edition is still widely available, very widely used, but it combines algebra and geometry, whereas I'm teaching it where we go Algebra 1 and then geometry and then Algebra 2. So you will need the 4th edition. It's very different from the 3rd edition. So make sure that you have the 4th edition. So this is obviously a high school math program geared toward anywhere from 8th to 10th graders. Obviously, if you have younger students or older students and you feel that it would be a good fit for them, they are welcome to join the class. We'll be covering everything in the book over the course of the year. So by the end of it, they'll have a very good grasp of Algebra 1. There is quite a bit of review. So just know that if they've had pre-algebra and just need a little bit of a brush up, they would get it with the class. So during the live class, I will actually be going through each lesson. So if you open the lesson, there's a warm-up section. I will go through that to make sure that we understand the concepts that are related to this lesson and just some review. I'll go over all of the new concepts and the examples that there are here to make sure that the students understand the concept really well. Then we'll also do the lesson practice together. Then this practice that says practice distributed and integrated, that's the one that would be for homework. Now, Saxon has a whole lot of homework, in my opinion. So if you want your students to do every single problem, more power to you. I won't be requiring every problem, and they won't be going over every problem in the homework session. So this, for example, is lesson 58. Since it's an even number, I would have them do the even numbered problems. Odd numbered lessons, they would do odd numbered problems, except on days when there are tests. Starting with lesson 10, there are tests every 5 lessons, and on those days we do a test instead of that homework. Since if we did 5 days, we would have 180 days to do those lessons in, and we only have 144. That's how we make that up, is by putting those tests instead of the homework. So the curriculum that we're using is the Saxon Algebra 1 4th edition. We will be meeting live August 17th through May 28th. You can look on the calendar that I'll show you in just a minute and see which days we won't be having class, because obviously we'll take breaks for holidays, Christmas break, Thanksgiving break, that kind of thing. So you can see on the calendar when we will and won't have classes, and you can also see that on the syllabus as well. We'll be meeting from 10 to 10:55 Eastern, and then the peer homework session would be from 11 to 11:25. They probably won't get all of the homework done during that time, but they can get a good chunk of it done and then finish the rest on their own. You as the parent obviously have the option of putting them in that peer homework session or not, making them do all or fewer of the questions. Obviously, that's totally up to you as the parent, what you are requiring of your student. I will say that I have done where they do every other question, and that seems to give them a really good understanding and plenty of practice without the overwhelm of doing every single problem. But they do need to do a decent amount of the homework so that they really grasp those concepts well. I will be recording the classes, but that will be only to put up for 7 days so that if students miss classes, they can catch up that way. I will not have this as a separate video course because I am using the Saxon curriculum. I'm not able to do that. So it will go up within this live course for 7 days and then come right back down. So students will complete one lesson or investigation each day. Some days we will also have labs. And like I said, on those days when there are tests, students will do those. There won't be the homework session on those days because students will complete the tests on their own. The requirement of parents would be to grade their tests. My own children, I have them grade their own homework. Obviously, that's up to you if you would like to grade your children's homework or you would like to do it. But then the tests the parent would need to grade. And then if there are questions about why those were the correct answers, then we will answer those in the next class. Then if you notice that they're missing the same kinds of problems and I don't happen to catch it in class, please feel free to always shoot me a message in the chat and let me know that they need help with a particular topic, and I'll go back over those. So things that students would need would be the homeschool kit for algebra, which is the Algebra 1 textbook. Again, make sure that it's the 4th edition. It also has the test booklet and the solutions manual that has the solutions for the homework. The solutions for the tests are in this book. Besides that, they would also need pencils, erasers, notebook paper, graph paper, a ruler, a TI-84 calculator, and algebra tiles. So the TI-84 calculator is important because in the labs that teach the students how to use the calculators, that's what they teach button by button, like you push this button and then that one, and it only works with the TI-84. If you have another calculator that you want to use, the parent would be responsible for teaching the student how to do those same calculations on a different type of calculator. I won't have time to go over different types of calculators during class time. And so if you choose to use a different calculator, just know that you will be responsible for teaching them how to use it. I will say that with my oldest, I decided to use a Casio because it was cheaper and it was very, very difficult to figure out, okay, the equivalent of this on the TI-84 is this on the Casio. Nothing wrong with a Casio. It's just that it takes you step by step through with the TI-84, and it takes a lot of work to figure out how to do the same thing on a different calculator. So I'm asking that you please purchase the TI-84 calculator. Specifically, if you want it to look exactly the same as what I'm doing, that's the TI-84 plus CE, which is what I've linked to here. So I have links on Amazon to each of these things. Here is the Algebra 1 homeschool package. You have graph paper. Obviously, you can use whatever graph paper you want, but here's some that I really like. This is the TI-84 plus CE, which is what my kids have and what I really encourage you to use. They'll be able to use it for Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, SAT, ACT, and on through college. So it's a really good calculator that they will use for a very long time. I know it's pricey, but it really is worth it if you can do it. There are online simulators for the TI-84. I will say I have not used them to make sure that they work exactly the same. So that's a use at your own risk kind of situation, but they are free, so it might be worth trying. I would still go with a regular calculator because they're going to need one for all the other classes and college and everything as well. But if you just can't do that at the moment, you can try several different of the simulators and see if there's one that works well for you. And then the algebra tiles are these that are really helpful for doing those activities. So the key topics for Algebra 1 are signed numbers, exponents, roots, order of operations, equations and inequalities, polynomials, functions, relations, graphing, rational expressions and equations, probability, statistics, data analysis, real-world applications of each of those things, problem-solving strategies, algebraic thinking, and getting ready for geometry and then Algebra 2. Just in case you were wondering, I have done it out of order and done Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and then geometry. I very much do not recommend that. It was very difficult. So I would stick with the Algebra 1, geometry, Algebra 2 order if at all possible. Some of The benefits of doing a live class is your students get to do this with other people. So they'll hear questions that they may have, understand that other people don't get it all right away either. They'll have the opportunity to ask questions and have those answered in a detailed manner. It also provides consistency and accountability where they're needing to show up for class and make sure that they get their homework done so that they know what's going on in order to move to the next one. That has been one of the biggest benefits for me in doing classes with other people. You have to show up each time because there's somebody else depending on you to be there. So that's really helpful with that. So this is the general information about the class. Then there's also this syllabus. So if you go into Algebra 1 Syllabus 2026-2027 and click on that link, it will take you to the syllabus for the class. That will show you the date of the class, the lesson number, and then what the homework would be. So for lesson 1, we do mixed practice odds. And then for lesson 10, instead of that, we would do test 1, and there would be no homework session for that day because the students would be doing the test on their own. And then, for example, September 3rd, we'll be doing lab 1 and investigation 1. So it takes you through the whole year. At the end, you will notice that we could potentially get done as early as May 13th if nothing happens that we don't expect. So I do have built-in days there at the end for if something were to happen, if I get sick or something comes up, or if there's a certain day that we need to take 2 days for a lesson because it takes a little longer to get through. We have that built in so that we can push that back. So go ahead and plan on us meeting all the way through the 28th of May because we probably will use up those makeup days just because life happens. But also I want to make sure that students really understand the material. So if there are days that need a little bit of extra time, we can split those days into 2 if needed. So that syllabus tells you what we'll be doing and when and what homework would be required to go along with the class. So then let me show you how you actually get on to the class. So if you go into the calendar, if you look on the 17th at 10 o'clock and click on that, you'll see it's Algebra 1. Mondays, it says from 10 to 11, but it is actually 10 to 10:55. It just doesn't give me the option of 55 minutes. I have to choose 30 minutes or an hour. So I picked the one that was closer. And then you can just click that link and it will give you the opportunity to join the Zoom meeting for that day. And then back on the calendar, right after that, if you look at 11 o'clock, you'll have to click that +3. Here you'll see the Algebra 1 homework session, and that is the same. Right now it shows a school call, but because I want our students to be able to see things written out on the board, I'm actually going to use Zoom. I just need to create that under my daughter's account. So because she'll be hosting those, she doesn't know any more than other students will, but she'll just be the host and be writing on behalf of everyone so that everyone can see what's happening. That will change to a Zoom meeting instead of the school meeting. So that's how you would access both the class and the Zoom homework session. If you decide to join one of the live classes, you would need to get a VIP membership. If you join before August 10th, the VIP membership is $27 a month. As soon as you join, you lock in that price for as long as you have your membership. So if you join before August 10th, you keep that $27 a month. On August 10th, that will go up to $39 a month. And again, you lock that in even if the price goes up later. So you will need that in order to be able to access these live classes. If you have an account for yourself and you have an account for your student, you only need to join premium with one of them. As a matter of fact, all of your students can take as many classes as they want under one account. So it's one account per family for all the classes you would like to take. Hopefully that answers any questions you might have about the Algebra 1 class. If you do have any others that I didn't answer, go ahead and send me a message on Skool, or you can email me at homeschoolhighschoolsc, that stands for school community, @gmail.com. And I hope to see you soon.